Okay. Hey, I'm Nick Shelton, author of An Introvert's Guide to World Domination, here today with Shane Barone of Barone Estate Management. We are going to have a discussion about networking and social strategy as it pertains to real estate and real estate professionals. And so we will get started. Once again, I'm Nick Shelton, best-selling author and social strategist, opportunity catalyst, helping people upgrade their lives and lifestyles through networking, building their networks and maintaining their networks. And Shane, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I appreciate it, Nick. Thanks for having me on. On this fireside chat, discussing some of the techniques and tactics here. So, Shane Barone, been in real estate for about 10 to 12 years, primarily situated over in Germany, over in Europe, doing property management, Barone Estate Management. I got started in single family investing myself over in Germany while I was with the military overseas, and ended up building a few new builds over there, and got into a part where I was able to speak enough German fluently where I was able to manage other American foreign owned homes overseas. So I saw that as an opportunity when people had to go back to the US, but they still wanted to keep their houses. So I took it on myself to start up a business, and started up a property management company and own a few rentals over in Europe still. And now I'm back here in the States starting up something else. So doing some developing and doing some more real estate back here, primarily buy and hold, but we also do buy and sell as well. So yeah, that's me.
All right, excellent. And so you and I have discussed a lot of social strategy and a lot of things. And so I wanted to uh, be able to share some of this with the people so they can
Yeah.
see how a lot of these tactics can apply to them. And one of the things that comes to mind is, you know, real estate. Uh, no matter where you are in that industry, it's all about relationships. And the better you are at your relationships, then I think the more success that you would have in real estate. And you can't outsource your relationships. There's a lot of things that people try to, what can I outsource and make it easier? Well, you can't outsource your relationships. You can try, but there's no outsourcing it. You really have to uh, do it yourself. You have to actually be active and involved yourself to create and maintain those relationships.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have difficulty doing that. So that's why we wanted to discuss it, to maybe give some tips and tricks to be able to do it easier for people that find that that's difficult to do. Do you agree?
Certainly. Yeah, certainly. Of course, within real estate and really within any business, at least that I've been a part of for the past 20 years, in my working career. Um, yeah, you always hear that saying, it's all about who you know, and it really is. And it's not just the fact of who you know in terms of getting contracts, but it's in terms of who you know and who you can learn from in order to improve, and not only improve in self improvement, but also within your network. So the fact that people are the sole source of any type of career progression really shows, going through your techniques and tactics, that if you don't have that network, if you don't have the people around you, then you're not really going to succeed, or it's going to be a lot more difficult to succeed. So
Right.
yeah.
And so I was thinking of, we always start off with barrier identification. Like there's always going to be some blocks that people have trouble with, and it's always good to know what those are and identify those up front, so then that way when they pop up you're ready and you have a strategy to deal with those things. So um, for example, some people, and we're going to cover all of this during this talk today, but some
Mhm.
people it might be imposter syndrome, or how do I actually enter a place? How do I, when I walk in, what is my plan to actually engage with people and
Sure.
and have a good conversation and establish that you know that trust, at least the beginning of trust in the relationship, because you know if it's real estate or something else, you still every relationship is kind of based off of trust. If there's no trust there, then there's no relationship, or it'll be a bad one. So there's you know for different people, especially in the real estate field, I guess depending on what your specialty is in the field and what your personality type is, there could be different uh, barriers that people might struggle with in trying to, you know, dial in their business the best it can be. Is there anything that comes to mind? You being in the real estate field, is there anything that comes to mind that might be more unique to real estate than some other field that somebody might uh, have trouble with that you can think of off the top of your head?
Yeah, certainly. So I can talk about real estate forever. Real estate is super interesting to me, just in many different avenues. Um, but one of them is one of the benefits of real estate is that it is such a large thing, and in order to get into real estate, generally you have to have either a partner or you have to have some type of knowledge from other people. Be it from a real estate investor association or from a mentor that's already in the real estate game, just because it's not something that is just, you typically don't go and get a degree in real estate investing or in wholesaling or in being a realtor themselves. Typically the way to get into it is through just that, like through a group or through a partnership. And based on your discussion of trust, kind of like the know, like, and trust, the barrier that it takes in order to get into those types of groups, if you want to find a new deal, or you want to just even figure out what is real estate, what is a realtor, what is real estate investing, typically you would go to some of these groups. You would physically go, or you would virtually go, something like this, and you would go to get known, and just building upon that, being seen multiple times, walking there with confidence, getting more information, becoming educated, that builds that trust with the other individuals in that room that would potentially do some type of a partnership with you, or give you deals, or show you just the way that things work, just show you the ropes. So yeah, absolutely. What I've seen is, in order to really learn and grow and succeed in real estate, it takes relationships and people through that trust that is required. So, but yeah, how do you get there, Nick? How do we get to that point?
Right. Yes, there is a path that we can get there, and we are going to discuss that. So,
Hmm.
the number one thing that I tell people is it all starts with showing up. Nothing happens until you show up, and that kind of leads us back to what I had said earlier about you can't outsource your relationships. You have to actually show up and build these relationships. And so, you might want to just say, well, I can just do it all virtually. Some stuff you can do virtually, but a lot of things require you to actually show up and and show up fully present, be there in the moment, and
Yeah.
go through the steps.